lived in Boston, Massachusetts. All right. A couple years ago, I lived in a big old Victorian house with all my artist roommates. It was pretty much a commune, and I discovered poetry, and like everybody I knew was a musician or a painter or something. And I got an email from a friend of a friend about this project they were doing. They wanted to know if they had any volunteers, and the project was pretty interesting, actually. They wanted to make these like recreations of like old Renaissance paintings, but they wanted to make them seem like they were alive. So the idea was to take video of someone standing very still, like these like living oil paintings. I thought it was a really cool project when I got the email, and like all these poses and all that sort of thing. But there was one caveat to the whole thing, which is part of the project was to be naked, was to be completely naked. And there's a thing to understand this story that you should know about me, which is that I failed gym class. I failed it every goddamn year. 4 years of high school, constantly failing gym class. And it's hard to fail gym class because it's gym class. But the reason I did is because I always refused to change out of my regular clothes and into like shorts. And it was because the idea of taking off my clothes in a boys' locker room terrified me. I would rather fail than have to take off my clothes in front of teenage boys. I'm still a thin person, but back then I was just so thin, and I felt like vulnerable all the time. And so I was always trying to make myself bigger, like big coats, sweatshirts, flannel, like 2 pair of pants minimum, all times, minimum, then that's not even in the winter, So I was just a really like contained person, and years went by. There was like, there was a ketamine phase, and then like there is, and later I found myself, moving to Boston, and meeting all of these really great friends, and first writing my first poems and performing on stage for the first time. And there was, the period of like just like doing whatever I was afraid of, like self-actualization, and it was really amazing. So then one day I get this email, about this artistic project, about modeling, and it says at the bottom, like, do you, like, will you do naked modeling? And I thought, yeah, I will, like almost surprised to yourself, like, yeah, I will. And I was like, this is the last barrier, like I've overcome a ton of fears, and this is a big one, and I'm gonna do it, like, and I'm gonna feel good about myself, I'll be naked. So the day comes, and the photographer, it's like very professional, setting up all this equipment, setting up the video camera, and the idea is to be very still. And I'm really excited to do this, actually, when it starts happening, fully, like the sort of like performing takes over, and so I go in the bathroom, and I take off all my clothes, and I get in a towel, and I go back out, and I pick out my Renaissance-esque, position or whatever I did. And I take off my towel, and I have this hard-on. And it's not the biggest hard-on, but it's definitely gravity-defying, like full air between junk and dick, like, when you get the breeze in there. And I'm mortified. I've been running from nudity my whole life, and now I have the biggest boner. And I'm thinking in my head, like, oh God, I'm ruining this art project. Oh God, oh God, oh God. So I close my eyes and I start to think of horrible shit. I start to think of like children starving and the Holocaust and Jimmy Buffett songs and just like whatever I hate. And through sheer force of will, I manage, and I'm trying to stay very still, you know, I'm trying not to move a lot, right? But I make it go down, you know? And I'm like, I make it go away without exerting my face too much, you know? I just make it go away. And I start relaxing. I'm like, oh, okay, so this art project is salvageable. I'm not ruining anything. This is great. And then something happened which has never occurred when it would have been useful, which is that my erection came back. It returned. And I couldn't believe it. I was so embarrassed. And I don't know if the project ended and the person photographing didn't say anything. Like, nothing was said about it. You know, and I don't know if I ruined the art project, but I wasn't invited to the gallery opening, and that's when I was caught. Behind a rainy day.